Alright guys, welcome once again to the Professional Goblins podcast. As usual, I'm one of your co-hosts, Scott Gladstein. With me today, as always, is...
Mike Myler. Hey everybody, how you doing?
And now joining us...
As me, Savannah Broadway, and my co-pilot, Belli.
Hey Pelly, we are honored to have you on our show. And our guest today, introduce yourself, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Bryk. I'm better known as Jax. I'm a freelance writer, game designer, social media manager for Damocles Thread Development, and winner of the 2016 Golden Cobra Award.
Ooh.
Congratulations.
Very, very fancy.
Thank you.
Did you say Golden Cobra?
Yes.
That sounds like
Did
the
they
most
give you a
badass
golden-
award.
Yes.
Please tell me there was an action figure Cobra involved.
Sadly, no.
Oh.
But there was
Oh.
Jason Morningstar, and that was pretty awesome.
See, I was just imagining it had something to do with the Karate Kid and like Cobra Kai and
No,
everything.
but I won award for most convention-ready design for a
Oh, that's
LARP,
cool.
so that was pretty awesome.
You are my people. There are not enough LARPers out there.
That's true.
I actually have my story today is related to one of those.
I think I've already
Oh,
told how I'm
excellent.
not allowed to go back to Argo.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
I don't think I was there for that, but
So-
I'll go back and watch that episode.
Long story short, you pickpocket everybody, everybody hates you.
There you
Believe it or
go.
not, yeah.
That seems to follow, yes.
So, as we don't have a review today, do we just want to roll into the game stories?
Hey, yeah, let's just roll it. Normally we would start off with a review, but last week's guest did not provide us with a product, which happens all the time. We're all very busy people. We don't hate you, Dwayne. It's all right, or Dwan. It's all good. But yeah.
Oh, am I supposed to provide you a product? I can provide you a product. I
Oh,
have
yeah, definitely.
Yes, do that, and then next week we will review it at the start of the show.
Cool. I'm actually going to give you my Golden Cobra game, because it's only
cool.
2 pages.
I like
That is elegance in design.
That's fantastic, because like sometimes people send us it's like 60 pages. We're like, oh my god, dude, like we have lives. Like, come on, we have.
Yeah, I accidentally did that because I didn't realize the book was so big because no one told me how many collaborators there were on it. Like, my bit was 15 pages, I'm sorry.
Just review that,
no.
please.
Yep.
So, do you want to start off with our story, or do you want one of us to?
Why don't you have one of you guys do it, and I will tell you stories later.
All right. So
I have many.
Many. All right.
I want to start with mine because I'm really
Yeah, sure.
excited about it. So I've been working on this Warhammer 40k D&D 5e hack.
Okay.
I know what everyone's thinking. You're thinking heresy. But first let me start. I got to work on one of the actual Warhammer 40k RPGs. It was awesome. I got to work at Toba Decay Black Crusade. So I have a little bit of ground to stand on. And it's a great way to introduce people to the game when you may not have immediate access to 5 copies of Death Watch
Yeah.
and the time and resources to buy and read all that, right? Like you might need to sell your group on it first, in which case, come play my hack. I have a Star Wars hack for D&D 5e exactly for that purpose. I want you to go play the D20 Star Wars. I thought that was the best version, but that's neither here nor there. So
I did Dune for Pathfinder, which was fun.
yeah, like it could be a really good time. And everybody's already familiar with the rules, so they're very ready to grasp everything. And yeah, it's not nearly as awkward as when you like the first game with a new system whenever you're playing a hack.
Oh yeah.
It's way easier to get into it. Yeah. So yeah, I've been working on it a hell of a long time. Oh, not a hell of a long time. That's not true. Hell of a long time in Mike time, which is like 6 weeks.
I would say a week.
So yeah, 6 weeks of Mike time is like a year. But yeah, I have all the races and the equipment and all the class archetypes, so you can play like pretty much everything. The playtesting party for Group 1 was Ghoskilla.
Oh
And
my god.
yeah.
You mean
Ghoskilla.
Ghoskilla?
No, Ghoskilla.
Okay.
Completely different.
Me driving the vehicles. But yeah, he was like an orc scout that got like that thought they were ambushing these humans, but turned out it was an inquisitorial team, and they decided to
God.
save this one because they found out he was really psyker, like he had the psyker gene.
Oh Jesus.
So like they filled him with implants and stuff, and they have him walk around with a device that disguises him as an Ogren. Yeah.
No heresy
that was a
there
fun game.
whatsoever.
Oh well, I mean they were part of. Okay, I should start. They are they were playing agents of Inquisitor Xynthia of the Ordo Xenos. So like she is allowed to have an alien enslaved to her because she's Inquisitor of the Ordo Xenos. Like that's one of the things they do.
Still heresy.
Not terribly commonly, but yeah, it's a thing they can get away with. And one of them was like a
Demon
junior
hosts,
Inquisitor, He was the archetype for warlock. The orc was a ranger. There was a Vindicare sniper. So like from the Assassinorum.
Yep.
He was the shooty kind of sniper. And that was a rogue archetype. And then what's the last one? Inquisitor, orc. Oh, that's right, a pariah. An Imperial hero medic who is a pariah. So like the warp just can't touch her, and everybody hates her.
Oh yeah.
As a matter of course.
Right.
So.
Oh my god, I have to tell my 40k story at some point.
I tossed them on an agriworld, and I was like, "You're supposed to find a Xenos artifact. They're searching the worlds in the sector they think they're gonna find it in. You're just here to be thorough, you know." And then they slowly like unearthed a Tau cult in the town.
Weird.
Which was awesome. D5e is really good for like urban mystery stuff. It plays really good for that. And then they had a combat with 2 Tau warriors, and I just pulled stats out of the 2099 Wasteland book. So I used the Atomic Army Cadet and then the Techno Magic Adept, I think it is, the lowest level ones in each. And it worked great. It worked really good. They like came into this meeting in the sewers, and like immediately the orc just like charged in after the Vindicare sniper started popping people. So one of the Tau started counter sniping him, and I have rules in there for headshots and stuff. So whenever you hit an AC of like AC +2, I think is a torso hit, and causes like cumulative -1 on Constitution checks, right? And so on and so forth for like arms, legs, and then if you hit 8+, it's a headshot, and you just do maximum damage. So like they kept popping people with headshots and getting popped by headshots because like the sniper had some good rolls.
But that's what happens though, like in like Dark Heresy too, because you invert your 2d10.
Exactly. Like
God, I love the critical hit charts. They had that thing where it was like they had a thing. What was it? With a plasma weapon.
You see like a silhouette of the guy, and then like depending on what your percentile roll is, you hit the head, the leg, the torso, etc. It's a really good hit system. It's actually one of the best parts of it.
There's this one descriptor that always stood out to me. It was like I think it's if you hit their head or their chest. I forget what it was. It was like it shakes, gets superheated, and explodes like an overripe watermelon.
I just remember that line. Charts, there were specific like critical maximum wounds you could do for each one, and it changed depending on what weapon you had. Because Warhammer K's focus is largely on weaponry.
Yeah.
I pulled some of that away for the hack because you want to keep a hack simple.
Yeah.
You want it to be easy to grasp. You still get them, and bolters are awesome, but yeah, it's not quite the same thing. So yeah, then they flee down a back tunnel, and then like they leave the counter sniper there to like hold them off. And the orc just like tries to cram his way, because they're large sized, into a 5-foot tunnel that's like 15 feet long to like slash at this thing with his chain wrench.
Of course.
And,
as you have.
Then he like hits his self-destruct thing, and the orc is just like, whatever, I don't care. Ghoskilla hit, and it explodes. But the orcs are super durable because in 40k, orcs are like a fungus that becomes these walking, talking humanoids, and they regenerate super well. So he just kept getting up even after the explosion. And then they're like traveling after like one of the dudes because he just picked up a random guy in the market, and I always roll to give him the chance because they could just find somebody who knows something. And of course I rolled a 1. So all right, yeah, he's fearful of you, and you make your insight roll. Yeah, you think he knows something. So then they figure out they're going to this like port town, and they start heading there, and the Tau head them off, and that's when I bring in the technologists. And they had like a running battle as like Ghoskilla, because the driver, he's like driving the truck, and then Invictus is in the back with his sniper rifle and the Medicae, and the Inquisitor's in the cab. And they almost got run off the road. Invictus ended up dying, and I don't know. It was really good. It went way, way better than I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to be clunky. I was really worried that the orc was going to be way too overpowered and overshadow the other characters. And I don't know. I mean, I found stuff to fix. But, flew super well. And I don't know, I was just really happy. Spend time working on something, you're not really sure if it's going to play or not, and then when it clicks, it's, fuck yeah.
You were saying, Jax?
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just thought you were going to say something in the middle there.
No. I was just making noises of approval.
Ah.
Don't worry about it.
So, you mentioned working on LARPs. I have been doing it since I was about 15, and about way more than 3, about 6 systems, but my favorite one's back in Connecticut, and so this is Val and the Fiend-elf and the Giant. So we learned something about how the interaction between mechanics and live action do not always line up.
Yep.
So we had a thing. The game Mythical Journeys is a great game, very high quality costume, single chapter, great. Lightest touch, point building system built with a tool online. It's amazing. Excuse me. And so anyway, we had just kind of like the last big plot that took 10 years to do ended, and we all started new characters. And I had a bunch of brownie points, extra points, so I could play a unique race. I decided to play a fiend-elf. Everybody in the world hates fiend-elves. Literally the first event, I was killed 4 times in one night. Mind you, I normally get killed maybe once an event if I'm unlucky. I get killed 4 times in one night by players, and the NPCs actually took pity on me. They left my corpse and said sorry. I actually got tossed next to a trash can. Limbed and tossed next to a trash can. This is a great 4-H cut. It was amazing role playing. And I was on the first name basis with Fate. When you died, you went to Fate in this creepy tavern, this creepy little shed, and he drew from a card. I didn't have any penalties actually. He's like, get the fuck back there. I don't want to see you in here again tonight. All right, sir. But Val was this really arrogant, like noble-born, like fiend elf, and he was a Torithian. God damn it! And he was loud and proud that he was a sorcerer, which is like super evil, but there were no laws against it technically. And everyone had the greatest time. I got like, we had a Pels post-event letters. Everyone was like, that fucking fiend elf! So,
Nice.
there's a spell called Pain. We use the birdseed packets to deliver them. Because we're on a 4-H site, they had to be able they had to be able to, what's the phrase? Like, decompose really easily. So, anyway, I only have a few spells an event, and Sunday is always the big battle game. It's Friday night, Saturday all day, and Sunday till the afternoon. And we get to the big battle, and in the previous edition, Pain had worked differently. Pain was you had to, you could take no actions except for screaming in place for 10 seconds. It was Pain 10 seconds and you throw it. So this one had the change of you had to go down to both knuckles or palms and one knee. And so you could pop down and pop back up if you were really like agile in real life, but generally it was like, it was pretty, debilitating. So the final battle is there, and I've been getting shit all weekend, and the trolls are attacking. Now we actually had stilts in the game. So this troll comes lumbering up, and little Val sitting there smug as shit. That was his thing. He was just sitting there like, he was looking at him like this. He had a book open in one hand, had a dagger this big in the other, and all these guys had just been like corpses around this thing. He walks up, looks at him like, yeah, and this is like 17 or 18-year-old me, like maximum ego, just playing through this character. Through darkness causes you pain, and I hit it. And then the dawning on the face behind the guy's mask was great, because he realized he had to go down to one knee in both hands while on stilts.
Oh no.
And could do nothing in the meantime. So I proceeded to stab the shit out of him continuously, rip his head off, throw it on the ground, go, and just sit there like that, and everybody starts cheering for the crazy fiend elf who was ballsy enough to walk up to the giant, who just looked at him like a meal, and he's just like, that's right. I bowed, took his head, brought it to the king or the noble who was there, threw it at his feet, and walked away. So remember, mechanics do not always, they sound great, they don't always translate to live action games.
I got some questions here.
Yeah.
So, all right, the online tool thing sounds awesome. That's a great
so
way to
cool.
regulate character creation, because like I
Yeah.
know a lot of the problems with that is like you spend so much time looking over the sheet making so much, nobody's being like fucking insane.
One of the owners is a web developer, so he made the tool.
Yeah, no, that's smart. That's like
Yeah.
A+. How big were the stilts? Like, were they just like up?
They
2
were
or
they were
4?
they were variable. The BBEG of the previous time period, Chakani, had like serious like 3-4 foot stilts. The funny thing about it was, because he wore a garb that made him look like his legs were much farther down than they actually were. His torso was actually his junk,
Yeah.
so he had to put armor over that.
Yeah, I would
I
think
was
so.
gonna say.
Those stilts though were only about a foot tall. They were kind of like the like the boot stilt
Still,
ones.
that's
yeah.
that's dope.
And they would send those guys out with like handlers around them so they wouldn't like. But the guy who played Chicani, the God Slayer, he could run in them, and he had the ability to deliver Final Death, which is just rip your character sheet up, you're done. And one guy screwed him over with some artifact thing that was like the big point of the event, and then bolted, and Chicani bolted off after him. And the guy was big in real life too. He's like taller than me in real life. And Chicani took off after this guy around the entire 4-H campsite. And he didn't die. The guy didn't die, if I remember correctly. He just was like he evaded him eventually. But man, it was great. Yeah, Val eventually. That was Valamo Jean-Luc Cactrine. He ended up eventually turning to the light side, forsaking all fiendish magic, becoming basically a paladin, a cleric of the light deity, despite his ego. And because I had to move out to Arizona, he got thrown into Discord by the fiends after betraying them. And that's another one. He reported all the fiend-elf things and the sorcery things to the town guard that he was assigned to be on as a penalty for something. And they didn't tell the person running the plot.
Oh.
And Val had the problem of he reported it, and I'm sitting out of game waiting for the module room to open. The module building, it's like a horse shed kind of. And they see all the good line paladin-y players prepping in another area, and out of the game they're like, holy shit, I've been working for like 3 months for this, man. You can't screw this over. What happened? Why are they there? Who ratted on us? Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking kill that guy. And he's really pissed, and I'm sitting there like, no idea. Oh my god. And they got up there, and all of them got killed and arrested for sorcery. And I got arrested too, and then was let go. But out of game afterwards, guys, like, that must have been the hardest thing in the world for you. I'm sorry I was saying all that mean shit. I don't mean it. Come here, give me a hug. That was really well role played. And I'm like, I know, I had to do it for 3 months and betray you all. I'm so sorry. I love you guys. But yeah, that is Valamo Jean-Luc Cactrine. He is currently residing in Discord, assumedly being tortured by fiends for all existence. You know, as it happens.
Good times.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Yeah.
So Savannah, what do you got for us today?
I think that I am very proud of my personal accomplishment of playing a World of Darkness mortal character who is completely and utterly self-centered, but is not a dick.
That's a challenge right there.
That is a
It
challenge.
is. I enjoy playing self-centered dicks, but this time I'm like, no, not gonna do it. So he's like a 23-year-old actor dude, and he is completely like solid in his assurance that he is the most beautiful person ever. And
Is this warranted though?
He does have a 5 presence.
Okay, so decent.
So yeah, I mean, in World of Darkness terms, that's max for a mortal.
Yep.
So, but anyway, so he's just accepted his fate as the most beautiful person, and you know he's just a gift. His very presence is a boon to everyone around him. But he's actually like a nice guy.
Except for
he's
that
just
delusion.
A dork.
I love it.
What's that?
I said, except for that small delusion that he is God's gift to everyone.
Right. And
Yeah,
everyone just
clearly.
kind of lets him go on with it because he is very pretty. So.
Very, very pretty.
I also like the fact that he's very flirty and has to get like everyone's number and da. However, he is specifically ace, and so for him
Even
it's
better.
just like it's just the flirting, and he is self-aware enough that his primary love is himself, that he also doesn't want to really get into an involved romantic relationship because he could never give his partner what they deserve because he's giving him what he deserves.
Clearly. I can make
he's
some
just
rather
this
raunchy comments, but I'm
flirty,
gonna-
beautiful person who's actually made of like snowflakes and rose petals because the fairies stole him away in like the 3rd game and replaced him with a fetch.
That is amazing.
Yep. He once opened a portal to a different dimension by looking smolderingly into a bird bath and willing it to happen. And what
That'll happen.
actually happened is that he was a fetch, and he had, since he passed beyond the veil, he could mess with that. But what he thinks happens is that the world thinks that he is so gorgeous, it just, capitulates. And in our most recent game, we basically picked up a couple low-level, like, mage spheres.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And so Zane got mined. So in theory, he can read people's minds. And
Oh,
this could be
no.
a really... Oh, go
wait,
ahead.
how does the fetch have a soul for an avatar to attach to?
It's not mage in the avatar sense. It's in the, like, here you were given a magic item sense.
Okay, cool.
But no, that is a very good point. The other Zane is actually living in Colorado. They wanted to live as twins once they got the other Zane's body back, but they couldn't. So they both live in states where weed is legal. That was their goal.
Good.
But anyway, so he acquired mind reading powers, and in theory, this could be really disruptive and destructive and evil. Except Zane doesn't care what other people are thinking because he knows they think he's gorgeous, and he's like, well, I don't care what they're thinking.
If they're not thinking that, they're lying.
Exactly. It's like I walked into a room, they're thinking about me.
Obviously.
So yes, that is my success story of the self-absorbed person who's not a jerk.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Jax?
Okay, so this one is a little old, but it's one of my favorite stories. So I played in a homebrew system with some friends of mine, and it was an alternate history 1930s, where the U.S. was divided into different countries. The South hadn't won the Civil War necessarily, but the country had stayed split.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also like an Iroquois nation, and
That's cool.
California was its own thing, and it was really great.
Texas too?
And sorry?
Texas too?
Yeah. And my character was, because all of our characters were the children of some like super wealthy family. Like we had a Morgan, like a JP Morgan.
Oh wow.
But we had one of the Costellos in the Costello crime family. My character was Amelia Cunard. She was the daughter of the Cunard shipping lines, aka the people who created the Titanic, because White Star was a subsidiary of Cunard. And I didn't discover until game 3 that my character had Asperger's syndrome.
Oh, wow.
Because I was really sort of trying to work with this character, and she really revealed herself as someone who had way too much empathy, and so sort of buried it and had a very deadpan outlook on the world, and had areas of special interest that she was like super hyper focused on, and was the best at like technical stuff. So this became an issue because I had talked to the GM, an issue in a good way.
Okay.
This became an issue because I had talked to the GM at the beginning of the game, and I'm like, look, I'm having issues with my upbringing, like, out of game, because this is when I'd started therapy. So, can you make my character's mom emotionally abusive? Because I want to be able to deal with that in a safe context. And people who know me know I am all about low consequence gaming. Like, you should be able to experience stuff in a realistic but low consequence environment. So like, you should be able to experience emotion, you should be able to experience, the doing of things in a consent heavy, low consequence environment. So we had these interactions with her mother, and her mother was just the worst. The worst, like every stereotype of the New York socialite you can think of.
Oh no.
Just the worst. And my poor little character had no idea what the hell was going on, and was like, why doesn't my mom love me? Oh. But we later found out that my character's mom wasn't actually a New York socialite. She was a 200-year-old witch who had my character as a child in order to take her body once she was at an acceptable age.
That's not
So,
creepy.
so when my character was 18, her mom died in a tragic boating accident, quote unquote. And then her mom tried to possess her. So we had this whole scene where we were banishing my mom's spirit, and like I was like, you need to, because my character was the best exorcist in the group, and this was a huge problem because this was a very personal thing for her.
Yeah.
So like I was like, I need you guys to yell mean stuff at her while I'm exorcising her, and one of the Morgan actually was like, your style reeks of nouveau riche.
Oh, bird.
Yeah, your daughter is a better witch than you will ever be, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And one of the characters' grandparents was a floromancer. So when the funeral happened, it was this big, social affair, and it was in all the papers. And we went to the funeral, and by this time we had learned like a lot of symbolism and green magic, so we knew how to read, the language of the flowers, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Flowers.
Mhm.
So we go there, and like there's these beautiful flower arrangements full of like roses and datura and nightshade, and essentially all I'm saying is die, bitch.
That's beautiful.
Good.
And the floromancer, who was the one of our characters' grandparents, came to the wedding. She sort of nudges my character, because she'd met her briefly. Or nudges my character, and she went, "Oh, it's nice to see your mother died like she lived, surrounded by passive-aggressive flower arrangements."
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So that's my story. Amelia Cunard was one of 4 female-identified characters and 2 male-identified characters in this game, and it was great because it wound up being one of the female-identified characters was the best fencer in the group. One of the female-identified characters was the richest. One of them was the best at intrigue, and one of them was the best exorcist.
So it was like 1930s A-team.
Love it.
Yeah, and the 2 dude characters were the scholarship student who turned out to be essentially the socialite because he was the best at talking to people, and the tiny, scrappy son of the Bell family, who had the telephone fortune. Well, all he really wanted to do was play music for pretty girls. And he was like our damsel in distress all the time. Like, he kept getting kidnapped by people, or kept getting distracted and wandering off into dangerous areas, or almost falling off boats.
That sounds awesome.
We had to keep rescuing him.
I love when
I enjoy
characters
that.
like make their own adventures like that.
Yeah. One of the best lines from early in the game was this running joke we had where we were talking. The Morgan was talking to her dad, J.P. Morgan III, on the phone, and she was trying to convince him to fund a girls' fencing team for the school, because other schools had girls' fencing teams, and some of our characters wanted to learn how to fence, but our school didn't have a girls' fencing team. And he's like, "Oh, I don't know," and she's like, "But Daddy, we can't go to the Olympics without a fencing team." And he just goes, "What do you mean they're not training you for the Olympics?"
So
this just became a running joke of, "What do you mean they're not training you for the Olympics?"
So I'm a SCA historical fencer, and we just opened up a new peerage, which is like the highest thing you can get in the SCA.
Mm-hmm.
And for rapier, in our kingdom, 1/3 of there were three founding members of the peerages, and one of them was one Her Grace Elsbieta. And one of the cool things is there have been events where it's been just about 50-50 male-female, or at least male-identifying,
awesome.
female-identifying. And I've gotten my butt kicked more times than I can count. When someone goes, "Oh, it's a man's thing," do I always gotta go,
Kill him!
"See this wonderful woman over here? Yeah, she's kind of a small, petite woman, very pretty.
Ooh, those are the most dangerous
I'm like,
rapier fencers because they will get under and up.
I go,
Yep.
that is Her Grace Elsbieta. She has been queen, I think 6 times now.
Wow.
She has been the general of our army multiple times. She has kicked my butt more times than I have any right to claim that she has kicked my butt. And
makes
she
sense.
will teach you everything, and she's still an awesome person. So, don't you ever go thinking about that, you know what I mean? There's just so many of them. Lady Perrin, or she's Doña Perrin, sorry. Juliana, all of them are just amazing people. And it's wonderful because there's a lot more of that in the fencing side than the hardsuit side, the armor combat side. I don't know, I think it's brilliant.
I know. I was explaining. I remember we were in the car yesterday driving to because my wife just bought me a bunch of shoes. It was awesome. I got 2 pairs of shoes at once, which is extraordinary for me because I never do that.
I saw that. I was like, are those 2?
2 pairs.
Wow.
I know. It's very out of character. She was thrilled, and we got them like super cheap. They were 35 each, and we walked out of there. She got a pair of shoes for herself. It was $20 a pop.
Oh,
So,
wow.
like, and yeah, those running shoes, they had like I never realized they're like, it's like a sock on the top almost.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of stoked about using them. But yeah, we were talking about like the gender differences and stuff. And when you guys were in school, did you do like you pick up like a chair or something, and like only the girls can do it a certain way because you have a lower center of gravity?
Oh, I know what you're talking
Or was
about. The hip,
yeah,
the hip
right.
thing.
Like that was a thing.
So
you did not do. So Scott, you know what I'm talking about?
Well,
Did they
the
make
way
you
I
do
learned
this?
it was from martial arts, actually, but it had
You
more to do
did
with
martial
body
arts
type than male-female, but most of the time it worked with that.
Yeah. So you guys have like a lower center of gravity, which is why you're also a better gymnast, and why dudes can't do the is it parallel or unparallel bars?
I don't remember.
But there's one gymnastics event that like parallel bars. Yeah. So
Well,
yeah.
it
And
came
Steph
up
didn't
in
know that. I was like, that's weird. Like I would know that shit.
it came up in
I
martial
would know.
arts.
I want to like I'm better at grappling and shit. Like I'd be on top of that.
It came up in our martial arts a bunch because we were doing a lot of grappling, and
Yeah.
there's this woman who is awesome. It was cool. She was grappling while pregnant too. She still kicked all of our butts.
I remember there was a chick who could kick like she nobody could kick as high as her. She could like straight up take out shit on the ceiling. It was crazy.
But
Wow.
she had a great center. She had great control of her center of gravity. This one other guy had a body type similar to hers, and he had the same techniques. It was interesting. It's more body type than it is gender difference. It's just that it skews in one way how you biologically are. I don't know.
Yeah, I figured it had to be tied to age at some point because like there's a because I remember doing it in like middle school, and that was just before everyone starts hitting their growth spurts. But
I missed that short period of time where I was like 2 inches taller than all the male-bodied people in school.
yeah, I
never had that
did not
issue.
get it. I forget what it. I guess I don't know. I forget when mine started. I think it started because I remember having Auschwitz slaughters in my knees. It sucked.
Oh.
All right, so
Anyway.
do we want to move on to the next section?
Yeah. Let's talk about stuff that we're working on.
So anyone who wants to jump on it first?
I'll talk about Hypercorps Marvel.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
I took last week off because I finally got Temple of Elemental Evil working on my computer.
Yay.
Yeah. I finally hit a point where I'm happy leaving it alone for a while. I'm going to use it as like a reward for when I finish something big. But yeah. I had to make Daredevil. Somebody wanted Daredevil and Pathfinder, which turned out to be immensely difficult because Daredevil can sense like fucking everything.
Yup.
Like he can sense radiation and radio
Yeah?
waves. And
He's really easy to make
light
an
sense and like everything except for actually seeing something, and getting all that into a Pathfinder build was like, I mean, I managed to do it, and he's like definitely like top tier Daredevil, like because he's CR18, so it's not going any higher than that. Yeah, like he's up there, which I felt was all right because he's kind of underrated for just being in Hell's Kitchen because like I
Yeah.
can sense fucking everything, except for magic, incidentally. So yeah, no detect magic on Daredevil. Detect everything else. But yeah, and yeah, so I do a series on my. I should start. I do a series on my website where I take Marvel characters and I make them in Pathfinder, using the Hyperscore system, which is itself a hack to take Pathfinder and make it into like a superhero cyberpunk thing. And it uses the Hyperscore system, which is something Savannah also worked on.
Yeah.
where you oh yeah, you playtested too. That we talked about that last. Oh, should we talk about the triple ones? 'Cause you
I
and
feel
your
like
fucking-
I feel like this will be the third podcast that we brought up the triple ones. I'm always happy to talk about it, Mike. I found the picture yesterday.
All right. Oh, dude, could you send it to Scott?
Yes, I will totally do that because.
Oh, okay. So this is like one of the playtesting games for Hypercorps because we did playtest it a lot because it was complicated, and they are like they're like taking revenge on the Mr. Gray that originally hired them and like double crossed them, and they've chased
If he
them all
just
the way.
paid us, it would have been fine.
Yeah, but he didn't, and you guys took it personally and
Oh, yeah.
decided to get revenge. Like they went to Canada, so they crossed borders. They got themselves like a super van, which they painted like what was it? Like a
It was
giant.
like obnoxious blue and orange, and it said like "cripple van" on the side.
Wow.
Because you had
because,
Cripple Beast with you. He was
Yeah, I
an
was gonna
ex-
say because Cripple Beast is the handle of one of our former murder ball players.
Yes,
Murder Ball,
yes,
that's
he was a
sport.
murder ball player.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only sport in Hypercorps 29 now. But yeah, so they're in there and they're like they chase him down and they're fighting him. He's got the upper hand, and he goes to like kill Savannah's character.
Because the tank was almost dead and she used a hero point. Scott, I sent you the picture. It's labeled
on
best
screen?
hero point. I used I sent it via Facebook.
No, it's already on the screen. Don't
Oh,
worry
it
about
is.
it.
Awesome.
It's
Oh,
floating around the
so I
screen.
used the hero point to pour all of my healing spells for the day into the tank, and then like became nauseated and staggered or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was bad. But anyway, continue, Mike. This is my favorite part.
So then he goes to like roll, and he's got this I forget what we exactly called it.
Yes.
It's basically a laser razor whip thing. Roll badly.
Monofilament.
Was it monofilament? Straight up monofilament? Okay. I don't think it was. I think it was monowire. Monofilament. There's Shadowruns.
Yeah.
But anyway, effectively a monofilament. If you ever saw Johnny Mnemonic, the thing that the guy is using to cut people up, that. And if you roll really badly, you attack yourself,
Yup.
and you can like hack off your own limbs. He rolls 3 1s at the same time, and the probability of doing that is astronomical. So I'm just like, all right, well, he cuts himself in half, and it's a mess. It's a terrible mess.
Terrible.
And,
Cut
they
himself
won
in
the
half,
day.
to be fair. I think he like cut off like a chunk, his arm and a chunk of his torso, because he ran
Yeah.
after us. Because
Yeah,
that's
he
when
did
we
try to go after you.
GTFO'd.
He has crazy regeneration and stuff. They are not to be fucked with, the Mr. Grays and Mrs. Grays. But you did. You fucked with them, and you lived to tell the tale.
And we stole Samoji
Mm-hmm.
because screw those people.
Oh, that was a good game. But yeah. So you use the Hyperscore system. You make superheroes. It's all on my website. I'm up to 25 characters as of Saturday, which is when Daredevil posts. It's like Emma Frost, the Infinity Gauntlet, Hulk, Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Venom symbiote. There's a shitload of them. It's great.
Mike, I thought that was a mysterious thing with a weird outline. No one could possibly tell who you were talking about on your Facebook. Did you just spoil that here?
Oh.
I've done that for a couple of them. One of them, I think, Cable lasted the longest before somebody was like, "That's Cable." I was like, "All right."
To be fair, Cable has lots of like designs though.
He does. That was
Yeah.
why he lasted so long.
So, Jax, what are you working on now that you can talk about?
I have several things I'm working on. I am working on Chill 3rd Edition with Growling Door Games, which I'm super excited about. Because I'm writing weird possessive undead. Not like undead who possess you, but undead who are possessive, which I'm excited about. I recently
So
finished.
wait, like, are they just like hoarders or?
Like really
No,
clingy?
they're like zombies who are possessive of people.
Ah.
Like they
Oh.
possessively protect or stalk someone or whatever.
Wonderful.
Oh, okay. All right.
I
want zombie hoarders.
I've done a couple of things with Onyx Path this year, which I'm super excited about. I got to work on Vampire and Changeling and Demon and Exalted. And I got to write a bunch of stuff for all of those lines, and that was really fun. And I actually just opened a Patreon today.
Cool.
for me to put stories that I have nowhere else to, because a lot of times I have really weird and vivid dreams, and I'm like, I want to write this in a story, but this makes no sense. This makes no sense in any game fiction I have ever written.
Yep.
What do I do with that?
I have a workspace doc for that, so I hear you.
Yeah. Pelly apparently agrees.
Pelly
Yes.
is adorable, by the way.
I'm very excited about Pelly.
Yeah, she clearly asks the hard-hitting questions.
Yep.
Yeesh.
A little too
My bird was
controversial
never
for our
that
show.
good.
To be fair, Pelly's 12, and it's only
Yeah.
within the past, like, 2 years that she's been personable.
Yeah.
Because she had a cage mate, and they bonded to each other more than me, and they were scared of, like, literally everything.
Yeah.
But it turns out that when he passed away, that it turns out that he'd been bullying her, and so now she's really come out of her shell.
Cool.
Oh, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to have a bird. His name was Pi, but sadly I could not give him the attention or love he needed, so I gave him to a lovely lady in Maryland, and she and her son and her green tea conure are attempting to cause him to be more personable.
Oh.
No.
Less bored.
I mean, if Pelly can do it, I'm sure Pie can do it.
Yeah, he's a screamer.
She
So-
finally lets me scritch her. It's so exciting. 12
Hmm.
years, it's only in the past, like, 3 months.
Aw.
You know, Pi would let me scritch him, but he yells a lot.
Well, he is a Sunny.
Yeah, he's a Sunny, so they yell. And he didn't want to talk, but he hated my sister. Like, she would come into the room and he would make the attack motions. Like, thump on his cage and be like, ah! And she'd yell at him. Pi doesn't like it when people yell. So he'd yell back, and then she'd yell at him for yelling at her, and then it would just continue this cycle. And whenever he was out and he heard her, he would immediately go and attack her.
It's a vicious cycle yelling at birds. They're like, oh, you're screaming? I can do that better.
Yeah, I'm
Well, it's like
better
when-
at the scream.
It's like when my dog barks at something, my wife goes, Kirk, be quiet. And I'm always like, no, here's how you have to do it. Hey, buddy, it's okay. I know. There's mean noises out there. And he looks at me like, oh, I don't have to bark at it. That's right. Hey,
Yeah.
you were not barking? Why aren't you barking?
Right?
Get it.
Yep.
So, you working on anything else? Or you're, can I take over for a sec?
I mean, the other thing I'm currently working on is I'm, currently in the early stages of working on a game about a monastery.
Yeah.
And having two different factions, essentially a faction of monks and a faction of pilgrims. And the monks have a very ritualized existence, and the pilgrims are there to, like, not knowingly. I mean, outside of the game fiction, yes, but in the game fiction, they're not there to knowingly disrupt the lives of the monks. They're just making the pilgrimage.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I want to sort of play with that tension.
I like it.
And it's in its very, very early stages, so I'm not sure what I'm doing with it yet, but we'll get there.
So yeah, I'm working on something. You guys know about our alternate path line. We take a bunch of new. We examine one part of a Pathfinder, and we put out advanced rules made for more advanced players. We we don't have a good name for this book yet. We know what it's about, but we don't have a really good name for it. Currently, it's called Alternate Path Fight Smarter. It kind of focuses on characters who specialize not in the I hit things with a linear damage modifier, but the creative fighters, the rangers, the rogues, you know what I mean? The ones who have more combat tricks, like gunslingers have their deeds and everything. In the book itself, we actually have, in the past we've done sections with alternate subsystems and rules and everything. We have like 20 pages, Google Docs, I don't know the word count on it, of rules, of alternate rules and stuff. We talk about new ways to use combat maneuvers, expanding immediate reactions to like standard actions and stuff, and a bunch of ways for implementation and everything. We talk about like wall jumping and like, I don't know, crazy stuff like that, how to run along walls, and really simple. We have a really simple grappling set rule. We also kind of examine classes. You guys know what the Tippyverse is?
that sounds familiar.
So the Tippyverse was this guy, Tippy, who wrote a thing on, I think it was EN World way back when. It was basically, what if magic worked rules as written? How would it impact the actual world and how things work? So he starts talking about, like, how cities would be, like, circular and insular so that because armies could teleport, basically, and you could only protect certain areas with, like, anti-magic. And, I don't know, it's really interesting stuff if you guys haven't had a chance to look at it. But we wrote them kind of Tippyverse style, the classes. So it's like, what does a scout look like in a world where magic is common? Oh, there's my corgi. Hi, Kirk. What's up, buddy?
Flop.
Yeah, he is. He used to be really, like, bouncing off the walls 24/7. Actually, he was doing that earlier. He's just not right now. We did a scout that's all about, like, how would a scout actually work in a world where magic, like high magic setting, like a sapper harrier thing. There's a bunch of things in there. It's a real interesting book. We're really psyched to be kind of drawing on the mechanical side of things more. We did a bit with All Path Marshall, but we're really going heavy on this. New uses for combat skills, dozens of new feats. I don't know. It's going to be a party. Everyone's invited. I don't know when that's coming out. The monster book's coming out. The monstrous anthropomorphic classic monsters book is coming out this week, I think. So I just got Jacob Blackman's art back, and I was formatting it just on Saturday. Actually, I have to get back to that tonight probably. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm really pumped about that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Playtest is going great. Savannah, what do you got on your plate?
I haven't actually picked up anything new between this Wednesday and last Wednesday, so.
That's fine.
You could turn in your archetype stuff for Book of Exalted Darkness or a few spells, maybe.
That is true. Well, I haven't picked up anything new because I'm wrapping up Tim Hitchcock's Mind Tyrants of the Merciless Moons.
Ooh, okay.
So I should have that wrapped up by Monday, and then I will do my archetypes.
Yes.
Because, as it turns out, when an author does, so, you know, as an FYI for all aspiring freelancers, if someone gives you a style guide, please format everything accordingly, and your editor will like you more.
I actually made a free style guide for the David Silver games because of that.
We when we first started, we didn't have a style guide.
People who don't
Now I'm the
use
keeper
the
of it.
style guide really piss me off.
Yeah.
Like,
Because Oh, go ahead.
I, as a new freelancer for Onyx Path, read through that fucking style guide, had an anxiety attack about the style guide, managed to format my LibreOffice so it would accept the special styles that we use. And then, you know, made sure everything was formatted perfectly. And there are still fucking people in different... I don't need to use the style guide. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yep, because it screws up the layout, and it's just...
Yeah.
It adds at least 10 to 20% extra time for the editor.
Totally.
And that's time that they
and
could be
it's-
spending making your stuff look better.
Yep.
So, like, you're
Mhm.
not doing yourself a favor. And speaking of using the style guide, why didn't you just, like, save as the file and then use that?
How do you mean?
Like, that's what I do when I get a style guide. I don't import anything.
Yeah.
I had to import it as a template for
Oh,
LibreOffice.
balls. That's
See, we're
I found out in at least Word 2007, there's a way you can go in and, like, bring up two different documents. It's like, document A has these styles, and document B has these styles, and you can copy across,
okay.
which is really cool. So.
See, we're a little different because we use Google Docs for everything. So I just go, here are what you use to denote different things. This is the way we use style guides. Do not deviate. And we have our little document that we have with all the stuff. And because we collaborate in the same document, it's fun to watch people, like, go do something. I'm like, no, I'm the keeper of the goddamn style guide. I will go fix it while they're doing it. I'm like, you know this is H2, man. Don't you mess with me here.
One of the things I appreciate about working on Athera is that when authors send in their turnover, if it wasn't formatted right, they got it sent back.
Oh,
Nice.
That's wonderful.
I felt bad. Someone had me freelance on something at one point, and they didn't send me the style guide till after I had already finished everything.
No.
Like 2 months after I finished it.
Oh no!
And I was like, I can go back and do this. You guys already paid me. I'm happy to go do it. I'll find time this week, I guess. And they're like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and add it. I'm like, thank God. Thank God. And they have an easy style guide. It would have taken me like 3 hours to like go over everything.
Yeah.
Like going back and adding it is a lot harder than doing it while you're writing it.
Yeah, that's what tonight's to do is reformatting.
Ooh.
Yes, but after that,
I'm sorry,
archetypes, Book of Exalted Evil. It's gonna happen.
Exalted Darkness, which is the evil one.
Evil Darkness?
I like it.
Yeah, I actually just got one of the concepts back because I've been trickling art into while I'm waiting for Legendary Games to get back to me because I sent them an art list and I was like, let me know if you have any stock art that fits this style and is this content and is so baked. So it's going to take him a while to get back to me because there's like it's a wish list of like 100 some things. And then the rest that's not covered under that, I'll sift it through and then pick what indie gets. So until then, I'm trickling her stuff I know he doesn't have. So it's like people chasing a Steel Equus, which is like a railroad train, and they've got like a car that they've supercharged using their like wicked souls. And they've I was trying to get indie, so like I've asked her for something pretty difficult because she sent one where somebody's like chain whipping the conductor out. And I was like, okay, so can somebody be like chain whipping him out and then another person using him like a gangplank to get into it? Because like that sounds perfect for what I want. So yeah, I don't know. The concepts came in; they're pretty good so far.
So do you want to move into the fourth section here?
Yeah, we should.
So
there were new projects that are not ours. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually have one right now. I'm not sure. You guys have to have read Cyanide and Happiness, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Cyanide and Happiness, the game that they kickstarted, Joking Hazard, is finally out and in stores. You
Exciting.
can go buy it. I mean, if you didn't back it, now you can go buy it. I don't know. I'm really pumped about it. It's you have to complete their comics, like it's like kind of I was gonna say there's this game called Buffalo, but it's kind of like that. It's kind of like a little bit like Cards Against Humanity or something. It's fun. I don't know. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, each card is a different strip from the comic.
Yeah.
And
You gotta arrange them and do your thing with it.
No, it sounds fun.
But yeah, I mean, it's out now, so go buy it. It's awesome. It's really weird. I'm trying to look at my camera like right here. But
Really
the
easy to find
monitor's
too.
over
It's
here.
jokinghazardgame.com, and
Yep.
I'm sure that your friendly local game store has it. So check at the hobby shop first.
So, Jax, you got something?
Whoa, what?
Something cool that's come out that you did not work on but think is cool anyway.
Oh, wow. Gosh. That is something.
I got something. If you want a minute to think about it.
No, I got it. This isn't strictly a game supplement, but it is related to a game I played recently.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with New World Magiscola, which is the big blockbuster Harry Potter LARP.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so Learn LARP LLC does a huge blockbuster wizard school LARP every summer.
Is that the one in the castle?
Yeah.
Okay, I have seen that one.
Well, there's the one in the castle, which is in Poland, but then there's an American group who
Oh, okay.
are connected to that group who do one in the U.S. now. And this year it happened at William and Mary, and right now actually they're doing a summer camp for younger kids at Swarthmore.
Adorable.
Huh.
But the thing they actually recently funded on Kickstarter is the Cactus Cat. And this is actually a plushie of an ongoing running joke from the community. But the plushie is actually super well made and can be used in universe as a creature.
That's pretty cool. I love it.
It funded and it's awesome. But the best thing is, if you paid for a $40 Cactus Cat instead of a $25 Cactus Cat, you got a little collapsible shot glass, because Cactus Cats like tequila and mezcal because they're cactus cats.
Right.
So it comes with a little collapsible shot glass that attaches to its collar.
I love it.
Now, if you get the $25 one, it didn't come with the shot glass, but
That's okay.
it was super well made and it was wonderful, and I'm super excited for my Cactus Cat.
Funny thing is, we have a mezcal mister on one of our Nagwal mecha.
That's awesome.
In the fighting death badass spirit one is one of its variant ones has a Mescal Mister, which literally intoxicates enemies in the field. Sorry, it's spiritual Mescal or something. I forget what it was. It's great. But, yeah, Mike, so what did you have?
It's the Book of the Righteous 5e from Grain Ronin.
Yeah? What's it about?
It's finally out and available.
Hey,
It's like a wide-ranging gods book for 5e.
Oh, cool.
I think they
Oh, no, I read that. I read the summary of it.
Yeah. They ran the Kickstarter, I don't know, about a year ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can get the PDF now, so the print should be available soon, and I'm sure it's good because Green Ronin makes good books.
It's true.
Yeah.
Hi, Joe.
So,
Joe character is awesome.
Savannah, what do you got for us?
I think my current favorite writing project is have you all seen the Cards Against Humanity for her box?
Yes! We talked about it before, but it's still beautiful.
It's
yes.
just like Cards Against Humanity, but it's in a pink box and for ladies, so it's $5 more.
Exactly. Yes, and I did check. I was wondering where the proceeds would go. If anyone was wondering, it is going to Emily's List.
Oh, very cool.
Nice.
Which, for those who don't know, is in the name of getting pro-choice ladies into political positions.
Ah, I love it.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's all she wrote for me.
So yeah, the next section is Pathfinder and Starfinder news. Mike,
As always, we start this section off with the document that somebody has been updating about all of the Starfinder releases. It's a Google document that is, I don't want to open it, but I'm going to go with 80 pages long.
Wow.
They were pretty comprehensive. Yeah. So if you want to know something about Starfinder, it's going to be in that Google document, so look there. And then third-party Reddit?
Yeah, so some guy opened a third-party Pathfinder Reddit. I don't know, it's kind of cool. I posted up on it, I messaged people on it, I don't know. It's
I
kind
feel
of
like
cool.
I'm surprised there wasn't one already.
I'm sure there might have been something, but it never caught on. I heard something about it, but this one is somewhat official. It's not super active. I think it's only got, let's see, like 60-something readers, and it's just starting out, though. It'd be kind of cool. I'm looking forward to it.
I subscribed.
Me too. I even posted. What did I post? I posted something about...
I posted as well.
I posted
the thing about the artists.
Oh, yeah. I responded to a thing or two. Oh, yeah, was that the question about,
kind of arts.
Yeah, do you buy stock? Do you do it? That was a interesting thing. Yeah, the question was something like, did you, what percent do you get stock? How much do you commission? Where do you commission it from? Et cetera, et cetera. And my answer was that we commission a bit. We have some people we work with. We're always willing to try new people. But we also have, I spend a lot of time looking through public domain stuff. I love the public domain. Not in a, like, ooh, greedy, in the, oh my god, collaboration is the intent of public domain. It is the point of copyright. It was to earn you a living in your lifetime and then release it so all of mankind can benefit from it. And guess what? We're humankind here. We can benefit from this,
That's not the best part about public domain.
The best part about cool stuff.
Public domain is the suspension of disbelief. Because when you see historical artwork that you register as being from the real world, and it's presented in this different context, it makes it easier for you to accept that context.
I could see that.
That's why I use it for Mists of Akuma, and it totally fucking works.
I got
like
thousands of pieces of public domain that are as good as anything I commission, and I love it. But I do commission because, like Mike was saying, there's some pieces you're like, all right, so I need a half orc in a JKD or an orc in a Bruce Lee outfit going like this for the style. And oh, by the way, I totally got that done. It was my favorite piece I've ever had. The orc in the Bruce Lee outfit. The Game of Death outfit.
An Indian dude working on like a giant robot suit that he wears.
Yeah.
And I ended up finding that like 4 other people have basically commissioned the same piece, and I was just like, really? Okay.
That seems fairly niche, but okay.
Yeah, I know. I was like, that's great, but like, yeah, like, what? All right.
Race books I always have the hardest time with because it's like, all right, so I wrote a new race. It is a winged manta person who does this thing, and they dress kind of like Samoan, and they have to have and I'm like, there's no way I'm ever gonna find that. So those are always commission heavy. We escaped with less budget than normal on this last one, but it'll be good. But yeah, that's the third-party Reddit. Go check it out.
Cool.
5e stuff is
Do
up.
you have any other?
Oh,
Nobody,
sorry. Yeah.
Pathfinder, Starfinder. No Direction is starting now, I think, on a Starfinder thingy with one of the Paizo people. I think Owen said he's going to be there, and he's the Starfinder lead now,
Cool.
lead developer. So watch that later or now. Whatever's good.
No, quick, don't leave.
Yeah. D&D 5e news and speculation.
So yeah,
Yay.
there are a
Yay.
few things that came out recently. You guys know that they had the Tolkien stuff. They have a wilderness supplement they put out, which was kind of cool because it adds the Bjorn's house or whatever. Yeah, so you have his house. You got Misty.
It better have a hole in the hedge, is all
I
I'm
know,
saying.
right?
Yeah.
They cover the Misty Mountains, like the shadows of it, not inside.
Do they have Tom Bombadil yet?
Not in this supplement. I don't know. I'm not
Son of a
following that
bitch.
too heavily actually.
Like, what do they have against Tom Bombadil?
I
Why?
don't know, man. Oh, Tom Bombadil, King of
Such a crucial part, and they just
Yeah.
It's sad. But yeah, the other thing is they had some Unearthed Arcana. Actually, it was from a few
These
weeks
were
ago.
revised, I think. I think
Yeah, they
these
were.
already came out. Yeah.
They got revised. They were actually came out like a week or two ago. We just didn't talk about them. Just in real quick, they had a Druid, Circle of the Shepherd. It's kind of animal and fae stuff. It's kind of a Buffy kind of aura thing. The Cavalier does horse stuff. You get 4 superiority dice that you can use throughout the day. They get bigger in size. They start off at D8s and at D12s.
And they're horse-specific maneuvers as opposed to the
Yeah,
Battle
yeah.
Masters.
Let's see, what else do they have? The Oath of Conquest from the Paladin, which is basically, it's not enough to kill evil. It is, you have to dominate, destroy, wreck, and totally obliterate evil to conquer it. They use a really interesting phrase, though. They said, they're sometimes called Hell Knights.
Oh.
I'm like,
Yeah, they're totally not from Jelix.
no, not at all. No. They're totally not lawful dick paladins. What are you talking about? They totally are. They have a fear aura. It's not actually really interesting setup, actually, as much as the concept warrants, I feel like. They had a celestial pack, basically good aligned patrons for warlocks. They expanded that a bit. I thought it was.
I remember looking at it and being like,
Yeah, it didn't do much for me. They had a bunch of other warlock, what are they, options for their Eldritch invocations. I think the back like 20%. I don't know.
I'm making fucking Ordos Inquisitors over here. I don't need the Unearthed Arcana.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it feels like they're playing it really safe with them nowadays. It's like, look, we released this thing that should probably be released in like a drove of like 20 in a source book, maybe, you know? Like, if
That's
you
what they're gonna do with them eventually. I mean, the next book has a bunch of the. It's what it is. It's just Unearthed Arcana archetypes. Is a couple chapters of it, I think.
Yeah, but it feels like we should, like, this is not like a big thing, like, oh my god, they put out, you know, celestial options. No!
Yeah, the Magic the Gathering Ankh-Amet thing was way bigger.
Oh yeah, that was so much cooler too, with like gorgeous artwork.
I don't know why they don't do adventures for it. I really don't, because they
Oh,
already have like all the art they could possibly require for it.
Are they not doing it specifically? Have they said they're not doing it?
Have you seen anything about Magic
No,
the
I
Gathering
haven't.
D&D adventures? I haven't either. Like, why not?
You'd think it'd be a no-brainer, but
Yeah, like it's already done. Like,
And they own the same licenses. Come on.
and they're already merging them. I mean, like they're specifically doing them as free products. So I think I have this suspicion there may be some legalese reason,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine what the fuck it would be.
Well, they might have the problem with the artwork where they've got a single use thing, like you can only use it for a card game.
Oh yeah, possibly. I bet you they lost some of the old files.
I mean, how many years has it been around? I'm sure they've lost something.
Yeah. I
Um,
know. Still, yeah. Anyway, other RPG news and business.
just tell us about these systematic Eurasian beavers, Scat.
this is just like a weird thing. I was looking over release schedules, and like 2/3 of the way down it, like there's this random like entry called Systemic Eurasian Beavers. I'm like, what's a Systemic Eurasian Beaver? Well, it's for this game called like Dale of Merchants, and it's like something about anthropomorphic like merchants in a small town or something.
Okay.
And but like the weird thing is they released 3 books, Merchants of Dale, or was there Dale of Merchants 2, and Systemic Eurasian Beavers. One of these things is not like the other. I'm just like, all right, Systemic Eurasian Beavers. All right, that's what I want for Christmas, Dad. Get me it. So, Systemic Eurasian Beavers. That's all I got on that.
I want to see the artwork for this Systemic Eurasian Beavers.
It's not even like special. It's just like Systemic Eurasian Beavers.
They look just like straight up beavers, or is this some like really subtle and bizarre racism, or like?
No, it's just like Systemic Eurasian Beavers. I don't know. Let me see. Board Game Geek has the cover.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see one of these beavers. Okay, no, it's a beaver.
There's like
it just straight up looks like a beaver, and like it looks like a Al Borland beaver.
Yeah, they were like flannel. I think.
All right. That's just bizarre then.
I know, it was just like
straight up bizarre.
Like they have like all these like main source books, and then the first like
and I guess Eurasian
one?
is the species. Okay, I see what's going on. All right.
I don't get it though, but it's just like the first.
Like an African swallow.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many? How far
European.
can that fly, by the way?
African or European. Alright.
So on a more realistic note.
Yeah, so this I just saw this on Facebook while I was bopping around. Some guy named Tom Anders has finished a dice set of crazy dice. Like they're D3, D5, D7, D11, D13, D15, D16, D17, D18, D19, D22, D24, D26, D28, and D30. Some of those I do not think have been made yet.
Sorry, I had to get something for the segment.
Yeah, you have some of these, you said.
So
I've never seen a D17.
So I don't have all of those. I have... Yeah. I was at my friendly local game store like 5-6 years ago, Game Depot in Tempe. And they have these weird dice that look like this. You can't see them very well. But this is like a D18, I think. This is a D22 or so. Oh, D20. This is a D24 was this one. Oh, by the way, I'm very proud. I have a D1. Look.
Is it a Mobius strip?
No, it's a sphere.
Ah.
It's actually from a Ramonet bottle. But no, I have a, I've lost some of them, but this is like a D... This one's a little lopsided, so I don't use it. I think this is a D9. Yeah, this is the D16, the little spindle one. But yeah, they had a bunch of them in here. I don't know, I just... D10 from it. But yeah, I had a bunch of those, so I was like, oh, that's cool. They're making like every one of them. Where's the D5? I think I have a D5 in here.
Yeah. This look weird up until about D... The D9 looks pretty standard. D7 looks standard. And then everything after the 12 looks like a 12 that gradually changes into a D20.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the D16.
That's so like specific. I never... I'm not a dice collector, so whatever.
Neither am I. I just found it. And it was cheap. It was like $10 for the whole pack or something.
Alright, that's cheap, yeah.
I just kind of worry about the utility. Like, what are you going to do with them?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I also keep a D2 in here. You ready? It's a penny.
Yeah.
Oh, the best drinking dice in the world.
Corvus Belli is... Oh, I'm sorry, what?
So I have this dice. I don't remember where I got it. But it has ounce, pint, cup, gallon, and quart on it for some reason. And all I can imagine is this is the best drinking game. All right, guys, we're playing with tequila. Roll 1d6. Oh, good. I gotta drink a pint of tequila.
Alcohol poisoning.
Guys,
poisoning.
I rolled a gallon. Get the stomach pump.
Yeah.
See, the only thing I could imagine is that you'd have to assign like a certain type of booze to a certain amount.
But even like I don't know what you could drink a gallon of that wouldn't like kill you.
That's true. I mean,
even water, like, oh my god.
Oh, maybe like homemade ginger ale that technically has an alcohol content.
There you go. I mean, I think that'd be really disappointing.
I mean, drinking a gallon of it would not be enjoyable. You should not do this. Professional Goblins does not condone anyone drinking a gallon of anything in a setting. It's a bad idea.
Yes.
I gotta tell you right now, kind of a sad story. I actually had a guy who died of water intoxication, a friend of mine.
Whoa.
So please do not do that. If you guys don't know, you can overhydrate. It's a really rare thing to happen. You have to drink like more than a gallon like every hour. It's ridiculous, but water toxicity is a real thing. It's actually something that comes up more often than you think in Arizona because people just keep drinking water because it's 112 and you're outside. He was actually outside exercising, and he just kept drinking water, and he passed away because of it.
Oh,
but yeah, so please don't drink yourself to death on our advice.
While drinking anything.
Yes.
On a lighter note, Corvus Belli is looking for a graphic designer. So if you are a graphic designer and want a job in the games industry, there is a link here, or if you know graphic designers, tell them. It's a full-time gig.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know where they're based. I'm looking at the website. I don't see it anywhere immediately.
Imagine at least part of it can be remote.
Probably to start. I think they might be somewhere in Spain or something. I don't know.
All right, so if you're in Spain and you want a job in the game industry, there you go.
I mean, if you're trying to get out of America and you want a job in the game industry, there you go. And then, IDW Games has acquired the licenses for making Nickelodeon tabletop games.
I'm really looking forward to my SpongeBob, man.
The first one they're doing, I think, is like a cafeteria food fight of some kind or something. I don't know.
Roll 1d.
I mean, that does open a lot of doors.
Yeah, like there's a lot of potential, and like I could definitely play a Rocco's Modern Life game. I think.
Oh my god, that'd be so surreal and wonderful.
I know.
Did you guys see the trailers for those?
Which one?
Oh, we'll talk about that in other media then. Oh my god. Don't worry. Continue on with your banal life until that section.
ESPN did some fucking commercial where they basically say that LARPing is stupid and not to do it and to play fantasy football instead.
Oh my god. I was so pissed about that.
This is the second time. Like last week, they're like, Cammy's leotard is too revealing, which is insane, and they interfered with like a video game championship they were airing, and now like they've got a commercial. Like, has the adult nerd war started? Is this it?
So as someone who's been, and Jack's backed me up here, as someone who's been involved in this, the backlash from the community has been like overwhelming.
Yep.
We have, if you go to their comment section, every comment with like, some of them have like over 1,000 likes or whatever, a few hundred at least, are just like, no, this is a positive thing. Lots of people explore different concepts through it. All of my friends do this. Thank God you're telling us to sit on our butts on a couch, doing fantasy football instead of going outside and being social and interacting. And thanks for shaming us for a hobby that we do and we love. I'm not gonna flip off the camera right now, but I think everyone's just doing that little dance,
I'm saying, like, I feel like they're starting to decide, like, okay, our stance is
toxic masculinity. That's our stance. Toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Good. Positive.
I mean, I can't say I'm shocked, but I am disappointed.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, like, someone pointed out that ESPN is doing esports stuff now, like we saw with Cammy, and they want to bash the nerd demographic. Like, come on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why, and so my assumption is that it's that they're just angry that the media isn't dominated by football all the time anymore. Like, now they have to have football on Thursday nights and Monday nights and Sundays and sometimes Saturdays.
I was gonna say Saturdays. Isn't Saturdays like college or something?
Yeah, like, I'm sorry that the demographics of the world are no longer to the liking of the 1950s male. Oh God help us.
And remember, guys,
fuck over it.
There's some image that says fantasy football. It's D&D for the guys who used to beat up the guys for playing D&D.
Yeah. I actually, there's the guy who runs my Call of Cthulhu game, dabbled in playing fantasy football, and he's like, it is very much like a D&D game. You pick your cohorts partially based on their stats, and you hope they go forward to victory. Like,
you gamble.
Yeah, basically, like I feel like it would be much less engaging, but you know,
Yeah.
you do you, folks. It's not pie, like it's not zero-sum game.
Yeah. I don't know. It's irrational. So I don't know. Makes me angry. Moving
What's
on.
this about Roll20, Mike?
Oh, the quarterly stats came out. So basically, the middle of last year to, this spring. It's just like how many people are playing what games. D&D 5e still has the lead on Roll20, followed by Pathfinder, and
Really?
then I think Savage Worlds or Shadowrun is running up at third and fourth. But yeah, you can check them out on EM World. They do quarterly reports. I'm not surprised by the lead. I think people are losing a little interest in Pathfinder because they're getting interested in Starfinder. So
Makes
We
sense.
hope.
yeah, that'll do it. Other media of interest.
So yeah, let's see. What do we got here?
The thing that's
saw
apparently going to
Guardians.
make our lives not
Okay,
banal.
well, that'll be at the end of this. So, I got to see the Russian movie Guardians. Not Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians. You guys may have remembered it, or you guys may think of it because they had like that trailer with that cool dude who had like the two scythes on his back. He had his eyes turned white and he teleported around killing a bunch of dudes.
Russian
in cars.
Avengers.
Yeah, it's basically like Russia's answers to Avengers. Now, it was a huge budget. I think it was like a $5 million, converted to US, it's like $5 million budget. And it looks like it. It has a big budget. It looks pretty. The effects are actually pretty decent. There are a few things that are a little awkward, like, so I didn't have the best subs, by the way, so I won't speak to that, like the plot writing, but there's this really weird pacing. I had a review I did, but there's a werebear dude. He's pretty cool.
Of course, there's a werebear. Dude.
Of course, he's the most Russian thing on the movie. And he just kind of like, he's entirely CGI, and everyone else is like, they use their effects sparingly, and he just looks really out of place sometimes. But seriously, running around, like at one point he goes full bear, and he has a rage-controlled AI chain gun on his back. And he jumps over these guys, and he's jumping over, mauling one person as the gun's pointing the other way, shooting out like other guys. I'm like, this is wonderful. I can't hate this movie. Like, the plot is completely like, what? Who even? Like, I don't get what your plot is, but werebear with minigun mowing things down. And the effects are just too great. Like, it's too much fun not to watch. They totally
How many
don't...
montages were there?
Oh, all of them. All of them
The
were.
Russians are the inventors of the montage.
They weren't so much
I
montage
see.
as they don't really get pacing as well, because it was like that you could basically what the movie was. Here's like 12 like set pieces. Here's like 12 like fight scenes basically, and we're gonna string them together. And they got like they hired a freelancer to be like, dude, just string these together. I don't care how. And there's shit where they're like, all right, we need to reactivate the Patriot program. The person walks from the meeting to that next room. That this thing's been just active for like a bazillion years. Walks in, it's fully staffed, fully furnished, clean, with everyone doing busy work. We have to locate these 4 people, and within 2 minutes, they locate every single one of them and are already on a plane to go find them. I'm like, man,
That's a good turnaround.
That's Russian propaganda, is what that is.
I'm like, that plot train ran right past the station. All right, man. But they have so much fun with the movie. It's
We
worth
have like a 5-year plan for the Patriot program.
Well, the problem is, like, there's also, like, weird plot holes you can drop a truck through. Like, they have this one where, like, this character sacrifices themselves to destroy this shield or whatever. And then literally jump cuts to the next scene. They run up and punch the bad guy. Perfectly fine. And you're like...
There's something missing here.
Like, I mean, maybe they could have got better, but, like, not literally, like, jump cut, punch the face. Cool. No! And it's a big character, like, dramatic death, and then there's, like, punch, and you're like... First one through the door was the dead person. And they never talk about it. Apparently it bombed at the box office, though, and they didn't even make their budget back. But the Chinese production company who funded them now has the rights to it and is making a sequel with a bunch of Chinese actors. So that hot mess, I'm just like, I don't even know what they're gonna make. I don't know, but oh my god, I want to see it.
I'm excited. Yeah.
I'm way more excited
need
for them
this
to
in
like.
my life.
I have no idea what they're gonna like. They're gonna be like, oh, there was a movie with superheroes. Okay, cool. Let's just throw some Chinese actors in there. Can we get any of the other ones? Yeah, we'll get the Bear Man. And
We only need them for one scene.
Yeah. Hey, go do it. All right. This is the Chinese Patriot program.
Kung Fu.
But I don't know. It's crazy. I love it. It will go down as one of those really bizarre oddities.
Speaking of oddities, the super stash. So Superman was in another movie, and they couldn't get rid of the mustache.
6.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I guess there's a bunch of footage of the new Justice League movie where Superman has this ridiculous mustache.
And they had to spend their budget to digitally remove the mustache, which and I'm like, wait, spoiler, he's alive? Really? I thought they would kill off Superman in the second movie and never bring back their second most popular character.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that horrid thing. Although I was right about it just being a prequel for Wonder Woman, and it did a great job in that respect.
Yep.
I saw Baby Driver. It was better than I thought. Wasn't crazy good. See it if you're looking for something lighthearted, I guess. It's not very intense. And then talking about something we were talking about earlier, Nesta did a research study that concluded that the average gamer, this is just all games, like video games included, is a 43-year-old woman.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
So, yeah, that's neat. The demographics have totally switched. It is no longer 13-year-old boys.
Thank
it
God.
is 43-year-old women.
Not that you'd know that if you ever, played multiplayer first-person shooters.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, well,
I just got rid of Left 4 Dead off my computer. I'm just done with it.
So, that demographic has actually been around for a while, since I was in my undergrad, where women are the highest percentage. Do you know why? This is even of hardcore gamers. And they define hardcore as someone who plays like more than 2 hours a week, I think it was. Do you know who, or more than 4 hours?
That's a very low bar.
I think it was maybe more than 4 hours a week of continuous play or something like that. Do you know why?
Why?
Bejeweled. It has a overwhelmingly female demographic. Candy Crush, all those had a very high female demographic, and people would play those all the time. A lot of stay-at-home parents actually play it, and we're still in an era where that is primarily female. And hope to change it someday, but just be on your phone, bop, 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 bop. Literally will make you that's a game. I mean, that's how people do it. Facebook games too, they count.
When they get a cheap VR console, I think we'll see the demographic shift again, but probably not until that point, because mobile games on phones have taken over the market.
They have.
Just
definitely.
Hands down.
So, the thing that will end the banality of your existence and bring you into a new realm of awesomeness, there have been 2 at least, I think there might have been more. I know there are 2 movie trailers that have been released by Nick. Nickelodeon is launching a new Rocko's Modern Life movie. And it starts off with, I don't know if it's a full movie or if it's just that little segment.
Hold on, you said a new Rocko's Modern Life movie?
Yeah. It's
like
called
a cartoon
Static
animated.
Cling, and it was set in the modern era, and it was really funny. They did a segment of it. I don't know if they're bringing that to a full movie. I hear they are. I don't know the full thing of it. But the other one is, Hey Arnold is getting a movie called The Jungle. And they released a trailer of it, and it's heartbreaking, man. It is beautiful. Go look up both of them. They are worth your watch. So look up Rocko's Modern Life.
I don't watch trailers, but I'm excited about a 1 hour.
No, it's not like a trailer. It's like a it's like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and it just gives you the setup of it. It's like a montage of old things. It's really touching, man. It's beautiful.
I don't want any exposure, or at least bad.
All right. Well, I'm just letting you know that both those things are coming out, and and I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Nick is not
Rocko's
destroying
Modern Life
IPs.
is my favorite. That's awesome.
I think the Static Cling thing is just a short segment, and I'm not sure if they're doing more of it or not. But if it is, because it's self-contained, is what it is. And it's basically
You know, I saw something neat this week that was cool and had a lot of things. It was involved Jim Henson's alternative Muppets.
Huh.
It's called Neil Patrick Harris's Puppet Dreams.
Oh no, that's been around for a while. Yeah, I love that.
I didn't know about it. I just found out about it and watched. I don't know, about half of them. They're pretty fucking fun.
They're hilarious. It's not, isn't it on YouTube?
It is. It's free on YouTube.
Yeah, it's free on YouTube.
Check them out after this.
Yeah. What's his name? Nathan Fillion appears in one of them, and they have the best back and forth. It is great writing on that one.
Yeah, that was. I don't know if it was great writing.
I thought it was great writing. I had a blast.
Funny. Anyway, current Kickstarters. Princess Bride card game.
That's been out for a while. They're doing a 30th anniversary edition with a bit of an expansion.
Oh wow, they funded real fast.
Oh, they I think they were funded when
they were only asking for $100.
Wait, really?
And that was their goal. Yes, they are at 6,000.
Okay, so they made their goal, whatever it was.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's inconceivable that they would fail.
Inconceivable. But yeah.
The other one is just something I love is they have this halfling skeleton army that this company's been producing for a while. I don't know, it's just adorable, and I think they're adding what are they adding? This is their third Kickstarter for it. I think they're adding the Lancers or the Cavalry, and it's just adorable. Like, not really adorable. They're adorable undead halflings, and like, I would play that army. I don't care what game, I just play it.
They do look cute.
Yep. So yeah, Jax.
Oh,
sorry, Mike. You got anything else for the Kickstarters?
No, I'm just looking at the pictures. They are very cute.
Yep.
They are.
Pull it up here.
I mean, there was a feat in, what was it, 3.5 that let multiple halflings be in the same 5-foot square.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you just have a bunch of intelligent skeletal halflings who can all just, like, stack on top of each other and be this hurricane of halflings. Skeleton halflings.
And their little skulls are adorable. Well, you can do that with kobolds in Pathfinder.
I like the drummer. The drummer is the cutest by far.
4
Anyway,
hordes for
yeah.
$280.
Jax,
Love it.
what do you want to talk about? It's your free discussion time.
Yeah, Jax, it's all yours, man.
Oh gosh. So is this free discussion or Kickstarters now? I'm lost.
Let's say
whatever you want to talk about.
Kickstarters, and then you have free reign to talk about whatever the hell you want.
Kickstarter that you're interested in. Now's the time to bring it up.
Undead Chicken Standard.
Oh
my
I don't
God.
know. I funded with the Kickstarters I'm interested in. Let me see if this one is still going. Hold on.
Ooh, an adorable.
Could be one that you
skeleton
just got the rewards on or something. That's cool too.
Oh well, okay. Ghost Court actually funded a while back. Jason Morningstar's Ghost Court. I'm super excited because I finally got my reward for that, and it's amazing. I don't know if you're familiar with Ghost Court at all.
Checking it out now.
Yeah, it's just an improv LARP.
Yeah.
And what happens is each player gets a one scene role, and you can play multiple characters in the LARP, and you're either a defendant or a prosecutor, and you are a mortal or a ghost, and it's the court that negotiates between the living and the dead.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's hilarious. It's so funny. It's really good. The Chronicles of Darkness Dark Eras 2 Kickstarter is still going, and you should totally help fund that because it's awesome. A lot of my good friends are working on Dark Eras 2. And
yeah, they got 9 days left, and they're at 49,000. They asked for 40,000. So they are funded, so it's a sure thing.
Yeah, but you should totally get them more funded because the stretch goals are amazing. And yeah, because normally their Kickstarters, at least from what I've noticed, tend to sort of have a tendency to go at least 500% over. But this one is a little slower, and that kind of sucks. So you should go get them over farther.
Only 500.
The Kickstarter market has changed.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people more skeptical these days. And
yeah.
Is this a World of Darkness thing?
It's a Chronicles of Darkness.
Oh. Okay.
So I think that's World of Darkness adjacent?
No,
or
Chronicles
is it
of
like...
Okay, so Chronicles of Darkness is what was called the New World of Darkness. The World of Darkness is currently being owned by White Wolf. White Wolf Productions, I think it's now being called.
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
a company that is owned by Paradox.
Mm-hmm.
Wolf Productions holds the licenses, which Onyx Path rents the licenses from. So New World of Darkness is now called Chronicles of Darkness, so they don't have to keep calling it New and Old World of Darkness or New and Classic World of Darkness.
Interesting.
Okay.
So
Okay.
anything you see that is Chronicles of Darkness is New World of Darkness 2nd edition.
Mm.
And that's what I was talking about stuff I'm working on. Like, I'm working on the 2nd edition of Changeling the Lost, and it's amazing. Edition of Demon the Descent. Well, 1st edition of Demon the Descent, I guess. Anyway, Demon the Descent is fucking amazing, and you guys should all play it immediately right now. Because it's a weird, Gnostic, espionage, cyberpunk thing.
I like it.
Okay.
It's super good. It's so good. If you've ever read the Pain Prophecy, the story in the 1st edition of New World of Darkness in the Blue Book, you know what I'm talking about, right, Savannah? 'Cause
I'm
played
sorry,
World
could
of
you-
Darkness before. You've played
Yeah, I was
World
gonna
of
say-
Darkness Portal.
Yes.
You know, in the Blue Book, there's the pieces of fluff text in the
Mhm.
beginning.
Which
You
are
know
the best part.
the Pain Prophecy of Marco Singe.
Not specifically. It's been a while since I sat and read through the book.
What has fallen may rise again.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
this is-
yes. Mm-hmm.
The Descent is an entire game based on that story.
Oh, that's really
And
cool.
it's awesome. You should play it. It's super good. And I'm not just saying this because I wrote for it.
That's fair. Well, if nothing else, if there's a Friday that we don't have our Mortal game for whatever reason, we may have to sub in a demon.
Yeah, you should definitely play it.
Oh darn, sounds terrible.
Yeah, the burdens we bear.
So what's
nice.
terrible is I love demons, but I don't actually think the demons are the most interesting part about demon.
Fair.
The most interesting part about demon are stigmata, which are the mortals who came into contact with pieces of the god machine and are now blessed and or cursed to see pieces of the god machine wherever they go because it's interlaced throughout the entire world.
Okay. That sounds
So-
problematic for them.
Yeah, so they're tragic,
That's kind of fun.
but they also have tiny amounts of superpowers, and I find that really interesting.
That's part of what I really liked about Hunter, like Old World Hunter. Like,
Mhm.
you have tiny amounts of powers. You may be utterly insane, and you're just as squishy as a person. Now go find out where it is.
Okay, you had an ass ton of powers in Old World as compared to New World.
I try and pretend that New World Hunter never exists.
I love New World Hunter. I'll fight you.
All right, we will duke it out later because
Okay.
I cut my teeth on World of Darkness in Hunter, so it's my baby.
That's fair. I really care about Hunter the Vigil for a lot of reasons.
Fair.
So, I will fight you and take your bird.
Oh.
That's
I
mean.
mean-
I'll warn you, her favorite things are crapping all over you and then walking through it.
That sounds awesome.
I always feel.
But
love
yeah,
around
no,
my
when I
own.
found out that New World Hunters could actually be turned into vampires, it's like, well, clearly you shouldn't have sent a lower H hunter to do a capital H hunter's job. Because Old World Hunters cannot be turned into vampires.
That's true.
Also, to be fair, Old World Hunters were never meant to integrate with the other World of Darkness systems. Like, they fought vampires and werewolves, but they certainly never were meant to fight Garou and Kindred.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We merged them anyway because that's cooler, but, you know, it's not very survivable. The answer is just have a lot of money, invest in a machine gun belt of silver bullets, and go to town.
As humans do.
Yes.
So is there anything
Yeah.
else you want to touch on at the end here?
I don't know. I always feel when I'm like out of my element when you guys start talking about vampire because I played a couple of games that fizzled out, and then I played a bunch of Aberrant games, but it was heavily modified, so it's
Aberrant is amazing, and I'm super hyped for the Trinity Continuum to come out. It's gonna be so good.
And
I hope-
my
yeah, I don't know.
experience with it is I've read the books. They're very interesting. I played in one game. The guys were really
That might be the players, though.
It was definitely the players, and I just never got back into it because of that.
The first time we played it, we played 2 or 3 games, and I had the summoner power, and that was just grossly, yeah, no good. And then the Wolverine guy was also way out there in terms of like the balance. And then we played like a